y'all, and welcome to the Crazy Sock Lady YouTube channel. My name is Kay, and this is my channel where I share all about my knitting, crocheting, and making adventures. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd. It is almost 10 a.m. and I've got quite a bit to share with you today. I have two finished pairs of socks. I finished two pairs. One of them is the Christmas Eve one, finally. I have a couple of new sock cast-ons because, you know, that's just what I do around here. We have a giveaway winner to announce from last episode. Since it is a new month, I'm going to give you my April stats as far as yarn used and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right in. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and I do always put links right down below this video in the description box for everywhere that you can find me, as well as links to all of my Ravelry project pages if it's a knit or crocheted project, so that you can see all of the details, because I do sometimes forget to mention things, and that way you can always find all of that right over there. And also any links to shops that I talk about, so that all of that is very easy for y'all to locate. It's just right down below this video. Okay, I'm looking down at my notes here. Let's see. Let's start with the April stats. Didn't finish as many finished objects when looking at the numbers, but I have not been knitting dishcloths. So that is where so many finished objects were coming in, like January, February, March. It was the dishcloths that I was doing when I was walking on the treadmill. Since I have been running again, I am not doing any dishcloth knitting or any knitting period while I'm on the treadmill. Okay, April stats. I've got my books here that I'm keeping track of things in. I guess I don't really need that one. So let's see here. In the month of April, I finished 5 objects. Maybe I do need this one just to double check. Yes, I finished 5 objects. They were all socks. Those are the only finished objects that I had in the month of April. I had 4 skeins out in the month of April, 2 skeins in. I had my Yarnable and then one of the skeins of the Arcane Fiberworks. So 2 out, or I'm sorry, 2 in, but 4 out. So that was nice. I knit a total of 334 grams is my total for the month of April. And that brings my total for the year of knit or crocheted to 4,678.40 grams. So that is a pretty big number. Like I said, so many dishcloths. My total finished objects for the year so far is 66. But really, I'll have to go through, like at the end of the year, I will like break it all down. But there were so many dishcloths finished. I'm not going to look at them all the totals right now, but yeah, an insane amount of dishcloths. So that is my stats for the year. So far this year for skeins in and skeins out, I have had 27 in, a lot of dishcloth yarn again, which is now not getting used. I find this so funny that I was like buying all the dishcloth yarn and gonna knit it all up because I ran out. Like I used all of my stash of dishcloth yarn and then bought more because I was so into knitting dishcloths on the treadmill, and now it's just sitting there. I need to add them back into the rotation, throw them in my Jeep for some emergency car knitting. That actually sounds like a good idea. Maybe I'll do that today. I have the project bag right here that was on the treadmill, so maybe I'll just take that upstairs with me and put it out in the Jeep to have out there. Okay, so anyways, 27 skeins in so far this year, 39 out. So I'm still ahead on the out versus in, but yeah, all the dishcloth yarn. Okay, so that's my stats. I'd like to keep that short and sweet. Now for the finished objects. Take another little drink of coffee. My seasonal allergies are kicking me in the tush today. Yeah. It is that time of year. Okay, so the 2 socks that I finished, let's start with the Christmas Eve ones because they They were cast on so long ago. Let's pull my notes up here. So I started these are my Christmas Eve cast on December 24th of 2022, and I finished them April 28th of 2023. So I do have them both done. I just put one on the blocker here. So here's those socks. This is the Follow Your Path sock pattern, one of my sock patterns. And I have been on such a kick with this and another one of my patterns. You'll see it in the whips, the new cast-ons. But I am itching to cast on another pair of these because this was my last pair of Follow Your Path socks that I had going. So I think my next sock cast on that's a patterned sock, because I'm kind of trying to balance the two right now. I'm enjoying doing some of the easier, more mindless patterns that I have in my kind of design library. But then I also love a vanilla sock for when we are out and about. I don't want to have to think because a lot of the times Eric and I'll go to lunch on the weekends or something, and you know, we'll sit at the bar and visit with friends and have a few drinks, and I don't want to have to think about a design or keeping track of anything. I just want easy, mindless, that I don't even have to glance at while we are out for lunch or anything like that. So anyways, I think my next cast on will be a Follow Your Path. I just need to pick out the yarn. But this one was a lot of fun to do. I knit these on Magic Loop, US 1, 2.25 millimeter, cast on the size medium. 20 rounds of knit 2, purl 2 for the cuff. The pattern does not call for knit 2, purl 2 if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head, but that's just what I go back and forth between what I'm enjoying. Right now it's knit 2, purl 2, so that is what I did for these. I followed the pattern for the Eye of Partridge heel flap that is in that pattern. And this yarn is Mountain State Stitches. It was our Christmas Eve sock set, so it did come with the main color and then the contrasting mini. So that's what I used for heels and toes. You can see there's a ribbing pattern to it, so it does have a lot of stretch in that pattern. It's a very nice one. I don't think there was anything else about that finished object. My next one is a pair of vanilla socks. So this was the Regia Perfect that I was working on. I didn't write down the color number, but I did talk about it on previous episodes, and it is on Ravelry as well. But this one is so pretty. I actually started one of my new cast-ons. My next vanilla sock is some more, it's not perfect, but it's the more kind of like rustic, toothy commercial yarn. So I'm really enjoying having that on the go right now as one of my sock projects. So this one I explained before, but you start, there's like a yellow guide yarn telling you where to start. Then you start your cuff where that ends and the first color begins, or your toe if you're doing toe up, whichever way you're doing it. Then you just knit your cuff until that color ends and the patterning begins. Do your leg until the patterning ends, heel, then continue with your foot and onto the toe. I really, really enjoyed this one. I basically just followed my vanilla socks, I almost said vanilla path, vanilla socks on 9-inch. I did do these on 9-inch, Chow Gu, and yeah, I did knit 2, purl 2 ribbing. I have no idea how many rounds that is. I didn't even start the patterning at like a certain spot in the round, the beginning of round. It just, as soon as that color changes, I just started knitting in the round. So these definitely are pretty mindless when you're doing them. I don't count rows or anything. I just let the yarn tell me when it is time to do something. And then I did end up having, I think, once the patterning ended on the foot, I think I had 15 rounds is what it worked out to on both socks before I started my toe decreases. So I wear a US women's 9, so my foot is longer than their little bit there, but I had plenty of yarn for the toe and to finish off the sock. So So yeah, that's the other pair of finished objects. I started these on April 13th and finished them on May 2nd. And I did work on these some around the house here and there if I just wanted something really mindless, a small project. But mostly these were out and about if we're in the car, Eric's driving, or like I said, we're out to lunch. That's when these got the most work. All right, so that is all of the finished objects. Not bad for a week to get both of these, which they weren't started and finished in the week, but not bad to get those both done. So works in progress. I brought 3 socks and my temperature blanket to update you guys on that. It's in a bag by Fat Squirrel. And as always, I will not go through all details on this. They can be found on the Ravelry project page, and I also have the episode linked on that page where I go into full details on how I am doing this blanket. But I am caught up to, well, not really caught up, but I am up to the last day I did was April 24th. That's the last day added into this. So I have a little bit to catch up on. But there it is, from January 1st to, what did I say, April 24th? I've already forgotten. There's my temperature blanket. I did have some people ask recently what I will do if I run out of a yarn. These are full skeins, not mini skeins, not scraps. They are full skeins from my stash that I pulled out to start this with. If I run out of a yarn, I don't really care. I'll just grab another skein of yarn and continue going. And that'll be the new yarn for that color, that temperature range. I don't overthink things or stress about things like that. This is kind of like a scrappy project in a way. Like, as far as how it looks, I just grabbed random yarns and nobody is gonna know if like this temperature range is blue here and I run out of that blue and it's pink at the end of the blanket. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I will probably never look back and see the temperatures for each stripe on this, so I will just grab another skein of yarn and go with it if I run out. Not concerned at all. That is just more yarn I get to use up out of my stash. Okay, so that's a peek at that. Then I have 3 socks. So let's see. Let's start with this one. It's in a bag by Mountain State Stitches. Sweet little camping bag. And I have cast on a pair of Rhinebeck Roomies. So the yarn I'm using for this I bought at, I'm pretty sure I bought this at Kentucky Sheep and Fiber or whatever it's called. The year before last is when I would have got this, I think. This is Apothecary Fabrications. It was a sock set. There is no colorway name listed on the tag, but here's the yarn. So pretty. I am loving this yarn so much. I've bought quite a few of her sock sets and have not, as far as I remember, if I have, I've forgotten, I have not worked with any of them. So I thought, let's grab one of those and start a sock. So that's what I did. I started my Rhinebeck Roomies. Oh, dropping DPNs. It is such a nice texture, very stretchy, super fun to do. Another 4-round, easy to memorize and read where you are in the pattern repeat. I did a pop of color at the cuff. You guys know I love that. I kind of joke that like that's my signature like little pop of color at the cuff because gosh, I started that years ago at this point maybe, and I love when I see y'all do it because it's just so fun. It's just such a fun way to still, because I don't like to do, if I have a 20 gram mini, I don't like to do a heel and toe and cuff because sometimes I like a longer cuff and then I am just always afraid I'm going to run out, and I know I can measure and do, or weigh and do all these things, but this just gives you a way. I'm going to do the heel and toe in the gray, and this gives me a way to still do that little bit of that contrast color on the cuff. So it's so fun. I have a tutorial for this here on the YouTube channel under the tutorial playlist for how I do this pop of color, because you guys wanted to see it. So yeah, if you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. It's also a great way to use up just some scraps that you have lying around and add just a little pop to your cuff for your sock. I am using Knitter's Pride carbons. I haven't used these in ages and I forgot how much I loved them. I do have most of the needles that I use linked on Amazon if they're available on there. These are linked on there. So they're great. They're a little grippier, closer to a wood needle, but not quite as grippy, because this is not metal right here. The tips are metal. They do have a good point. Yeah, they're a nice needle. I forgot how much I like them. I don't think there was anything else about those. They are US 1 2.25 millimeter carbons needles. And that's one of the new cast-ons. Let's see, have you guys, oh my gosh, are these all new cast-ons? I have 3. I think I said I had 2. I don't know what I was thinking. I have 3 new cast-ons. This is in another bag by Mountain State Stitches. I've been loving these kind of summery print bags that I have from her lately, and they're just such a great size for socks. So I have found that I've been reaching for those. I cast on another vanilla sock because I had finished, so I actually was not done yet with these ones, and we went out. A lot of the times we'll do lunch on Sundays, and we went out to lunch, so I needed a sock, and we weren't really planning to. It was just kind of like, what do you want to do for lunch? And we ended up going out. So I was in a rush. I ran down here and I was like, I don't have time to cake any yarn up, so let's grab another commercial yarn that's ready to go, grab some needles, grab a bag, and then I started the sock while we were out to lunch. So this is what I've gotten done since then. I've worked on it in the car a little bit and things here and there, but I have a good start. So I'm just doing my vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. I did 25 rounds of Knit 2 Purl 2 ribbing for the cuff. I've really been enjoying a longer cuff recently, and I'm so in love with how this yarn is working up. Here's what it looks like in the skein, whatever you want to call that. The yarn is another Regia. The color number is 07708. And you can find all that. I've put all of that on the Ravelry project page as well. 64 stitches. I don't know if I said that. US 0, 9-inch. And the last new sock whip. So this one is the May Yarnable colorway. So if you have not received your May Yarnable yet, because it is only the 3rd, mine comes very, very quickly. So if you have not received yours yet, you may want to skip this next little portion here, because I'm going to show it and show the sock that I started yesterday with it. I am really, so far, I know we're only in May, I've done really well about knitting the yarns for Yarnable within the month I received them, because I do have quite a, I think you can kind of, well, you probably can't tell they're Yarnable, but this part of the cabinet right here is a lot of Yarnable yarns from previous years. So I'm trying to knit them up in the month I get them, because they're so pretty, and then they just sit here if I don't, and they don't always get cast on for a while. So yeah, if you haven't received this, you don't want it to be spoiled, look away. I'll talk more about the rest of the stuff that came in the Yarnable box and about Yarnable after I show this work in progress, but we'll kind of go ahead and talk about the sock first. So this is in a bag by the Scrappy Thread. And the Yarnable colorway for this month is Unicorn Dreamscape. There's the tag. And here's the yarn. probably going to get blown out. Yes, it is a bit, but you can still kind of see like the blues and the pinks. It's just very pretty and very muted. I love it so much. It's kind of not like an in-your-face unicorn kind of thing. I really like it. So I started another pair of Rhinebeck Roomies with this one. I have this on 9-inch circulars. And definitely going to get a little blown out, but you can kind of see I've just got the pattern started there. I did 25 rounds of knit 2 purl 2 for the cuff. And I've got 2 pattern repeats done so far. So yeah, not too much to show or talk about just yet. I literally started this last night when we were sitting down watching TV. I caked it up yesterday and went ahead and got it started. So really enjoying it. And that's the other pattern that I'm kind of hooked on right now, is Rhinebeck Roomies. They're both 4-round repeats, easy to memorize, perfect for like just a little bit of pattern, but not too much that you have to really think about it. I think they're good ones. Okay, so that kind of brings us to mail, like I said. So that was the Yarnable yarn. Now I will show you the extras that came in Yarnable. So if you're new to the channel and you've never heard about Yarnable, they are a yarn subscription service. I've been getting them for probably 3 years. I don't even know at this point. So long, and I absolutely love it. I love the yarn that I get with it. I love the little extras that I get. You can customize. I always get 1 skein of fingering weight, but you can customize if you want DK fingering, a full skein with a little contrast skein. They have so many different options now. They've expanded that even more. So you can, I like that you can customize that. That way, if you have different projects that you like to do, you can kind of pick and choose what yarn you're getting to kind of what you knit the most. So the extras are always really great. There's a little bag they came in this time. And I mean, you can always use these little bags, notions, all kinds of different things. So you always get a card that tells you a bit about the box, and then also has a scratch off discount code for Hypnotic Yarn, which is who puts together the Yarnable box. And it says that this month is Unicorn Dreamscape, and it says unicorns are the keepers of our childhood dreams. And then it always tells you about the extras that you've received for the month. So let's see, let's just go in order here. We have Unicorn Dreams Whipped Soap by Bella and Bear. And I'm excited to try this. It says it's whipped bath soap. I haven't opened it yet to smell it, but the packaging is very cute. Then we have Unicorn Stitch Stoppers from Fox and Pine. And then we have a needle/hook reminder designed by and manufactured for Yarnable. The card says, ever steal your needles or hook from one whip so that you can start another, only to forget what you were using when you return to it later. Just attach this charm to your project and presto, problem solved. So it's got different hook size and needles. So one side says hooks, and then the other side says needles. And then they have little rings on them, but then there's a double-sided lobster clasp. So my thought is, you know, you would just move the lobster clasp to whatever size needle you were using, and then attach the other lobster clasp to your project. So super cute. Very nice little gadget to have in your arsenal of notions, I think. So that was the Yarnable for the month of May. So I will put a link down below for Yarnable, and there's also a coupon code that I'll have listed down there. They aren't always open to new members, so you do have to wait until they are open. But what you can do in the meantime, if you're interested in learning more about it or signing up when spots become available is follow that link down below, and they'll have you put your email address in. And then when they have spots open up, because sometimes they'll just have a few open up here and there, then they will send out an email saying, hey, we have spots open up. If you want to come and sign up now, you can. So if you want to do that, just put your email in over there and they'll let you know when spots are open. And don't forget to use the coupon code, and it gives you $5 off of your first month of Yarnable. I received one other thing in the mail. So I got my Homespun House Patreon minis. It says that these are for March. So if you have not received your March Patreon minis from Homespun House and you don't want to see them, look away for a few minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and show those. It says the colorways are Biscuit, Lavender Haze, and Farmer's Market. Very, very pretty. So with these, I have been doing a DK weight jelly roll with my Homespun House minis and my row 1 minis. So I'm going to wait. My row 1 should be here soon. They usually come right around the same time. So once I get those, I will get started on adding these into my DK weight jelly roll. I can't wait to pick it back up. It seems like such a long time to wait for those other minis to come in the mail. I think our only other thing is we do have our giveaway winner to announce from last episode for the Cabana Berry project bag. So I will put the winner up here on the screen. If this is you, please contact me at crazysockladypodcast@gmail.com. I will just need your shipping information, and then I can get that project bag out in the mail to you. So that kind of wraps up all the knitting and stuff for the day. Not really too much with life stuff. I have been working on a project. So if you notice, today I am in the guest room / yarn cave of the house. And I have been recently recording in the room next to this, where I had like a chair set up and all of that. So that was kind of the recording spot. For a while I was really sitting down there, and then I kind of stopped. I don't know, if I'm sitting and knitting during the day, sometimes that's rare, and it typically I'm just like at the dining room table when I do that. So I wasn't really using that space anymore, and it was right with all of my workout stuff, and I've been using that so much more, and sometimes Austin will use it as well. So the space just, I don't know, I've went through so many changes with that space out there to try to get it functional and to really work. And it's just like a oddly long, narrow room, and it's not really worked properly for anything. So I decided to, this past weekend, rid of the couch and chairs that I had in there. They were not being used. I wasn't sitting in that chair anymore. We got rid of all of that. Now we just have the little guitar area on one side, and then the other side I am working on turning into a home gym. That just seems like the most functional thing for the room. I did share a picture of it on Instagram the other day, so if I still have that picture, I will put it up here. It's a work in progress. So that is just kind of the bare minimum there. I do plan on getting mats for that whole side of the room to protect the carpet, because the carpet is newer in the whole entire basement. So I do plan on doing the mats. We may do those this weekend. We'll see what we get into. But yeah, it's a work in progress, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying being able to go down there and in that room work out and not have to move furniture around or feel like I'm dodging furniture and like, you can't do this over here because there's no room and this piece of furniture is in the way. So it just works so much better. It makes the morning workouts just flow smoother, and I don't know, I enjoy it so much more. So that's kind of all that's really been going on around our house. I am still reading. I am almost done. I may actually finish it tonight. A Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I've said before, but I only usually end up reading when I lay down, you know, before I go to sleep. So it takes me a while to finish books anymore. But yeah, I'm working on that. Still really, really enjoying it and so close to being done with it. We are probably at this point almost done with season 3 of The Sinner. I'm in the same boat as a lot of y'all that have commented that season 3 has not been my favorite out of the 3 seasons. Season 1 was definitely my favorite. Season 2 was still really good. Season 3, we are pushing ourselves to get through. We'll see how season 4 is, because I do think there's 4 seasons. Still watching Yellowjackets season 2 on Showtime. And I think that wraps it up for today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this little weekly catch up. I know I had mentioned last week, do I want to do a vlog or a sit down episode, but this kind of just worked for today and for the schedule for this week to just sit down and do another catch up and get to show you all the stuff I got in the mail and new cast-ons, finished objects, all the things. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will be seeing you guys again soon. Until then, happy making. Bye.